Welcome to Warmachine's Political Theater, a multiplayer arena requiring a blend of brains and brawn in order to secure victory. Plan your attack, make allies, defeat your enemies, then stab your allies in the back. This is Kommandant.
Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian, and it's time for another Warmachine battle report, and also a Kommandant battle report. So for those who don't know what Kommandant means, it is a 4-player version of the game that we're kind of trialing right now in this month, and then hopefully hoping to, roll out officially next month. So I'm going to go over the rules when we get to the map. It's also down in the description, but before we do that, let's go look at the actual lists. All right, so the first list here to look at here is going to be David's. Now, this is David's first time playing Kommadant. He was super pumped. He actually stayed up late, finishing and painting all this stuff, and it looks amazing. So this is fantastic. Love to have David out here. He is running Haley3 with a Centurion and Thorn. There's also some Stormblades with a Gunner. There's also some Silverline. So they look like the regular Storm Guard, but they're being used as a Silverline. We also have a couple of the little Storm Collars, and we have a Ragman, and of course, you got Gwen Keller, because you need to have that whenever you're doing any type of, Storm stuff. So, overall, he's already saying that he's here for a good time, not a long time. He wants to do some silly jank, and I'm interested to see what he does. Next list up here is going to be Adam. Adam is returning with his Menoth, and actually the exact same list he used last time. So, some of us, we're changing things up for every game and trying to see what's going to work, but there's nothing wrong with finding something that you think should have worked and then trying it again. So this is a Kreoss2 list that is actually out of theme. You have the Vanquisher over there, you have the Arc Node, and then the unpainted one in the back is still, you can't find that Devout, so that's what it's supposed to be. Otherwise, we got our Incinerators with the UA. We got this artillery that has all the trimmings on it, just to kind of make sure this works out. And something that we're going to be correcting later, but I just want to be pointing it out now, is look how far back Kreoss is, and that actually ends up in him killboxing himself later, but we kind of just nudge him forward, because that was kind of really a deployment mistake. So something good to keep in mind with Kommadant is that there is a kill box that's going to be increasing every turn, so your caster can't be so far back. All right, our next list here is going to be the good guys. It is going to be me and my mercenaries. Now, when I was trying to figure out what to play for this, I was trying to find a way to make some Infernals work. Some people were asking for a more assassination style, so I was looking at an Agathon, but to be honest, this idea for this list just seemed so hilarious to me that I had to do it. So the idea is we're going with Gorten, 3 drillers, a basher, a blaster, and a gunner. And then we also got a couple of Orgren. I got, Gudrun the Wasted. And then I also have my Gudrun Bokur. But of course, I got my awesome Pressginger model for that. I love it. So happy when I can go on the table. But anyway, the reason why I'm keen for this is because my feat gets to move all the models, enemy models, 8 inches towards any board edge. Now, normally this is like an assassination thing or a scenario thing, but what I love the idea about this in a 4-player game is I can say, okay, you and all your army, get them. Just go towards somebody else. You guys fight, and maybe I'll go claim your flag. So that's what I want to do, and I think it'll be hilarious. Although my opponents probably won't agree. Finally, we have Daryl. Daryl is the other veteran that seems to be always here, and this time he brought his Retribution and Thyron. We are going to be having in here a big old Banshee and then a Chimera. We're going to be having the Executioner there and then the Wardens. So this is just kind of one of those good old I'm going to get in there and beat you up type of lists, and should be kind of scary, especially that Executioner can be doing a lot of work, but overall, I think it could be manageable, right? If you can go and try and kill off some of the main pieces before they come in, it's not as resilient as some of the other builds that he's had before. It is more on the aggressive side. So hopefully I can either use my feet to move him away or something. We'll see how it goes. All right, so looking at the board here, let me quickly explain to you again how Kommandant works. So, it is the first one to get 3 points wins. You can get 1 point for scoring the center zone starting on turn 2 by having any model in there and it not being contested. You can also get a point by killing an enemy caster, and you can also get a point by claiming a enemy flag. So you can't claim your own, and once you claim the enemy flag, it's going to disappear. Now, this is going to be kind of wonky here, and I feel really bad for David because when we looked at this, you know, the whole thing that's going on here with this list is that you're going to be having all these Storm Knights, they're going to be buffed up by Haley3, super high defense, all this stuff, and then you look at what they're up against, and Thyron has Blessed, so that little defense buff isn't going to do anything. And then even worse is this Menoth list of atoms. So you got Kreoss2, where you get 2 attacks that automatically hit, and he has 2 artillery pieces basically that light things on fire. So this is not going to be a good day for David. I have a bad feeling. But hey, you know, if they're having fun killing that Cygnar stuff, maybe I can get myself into a pretty good situation here. So we'll kind of see how this all develops. Probably the only piece of terrain that I might have to explain is going to be the one that Retribution set up there on the flag, and that is a squall. So a cloud effect that if you're in it, things are minus 3 inches to shoot you, and you're minus 3 inches to shoot out. Alright, so going into first turn, basically Cygnar is cautiously moving up. They cast their defensive spells, polarity shield just for fun, and then he's kind of realizing already, I mean, like, you get to put down two free pieces of terrain, and in doing so, he put a building on one side, a forest on the other, and now he's like, oh, that's kind of trapping me in there. So that is going to be causing him some issues, but overall, nothing to worry about yet. Going over to turn 1 for Kreoss2, again, just kind of like a general advance. He puts up the Invulnerable Resolve onto the Incinerators, adding some armor. They're going to go Shield Wall and do the mini feat so they get even further up the board. And then, yeah, pretty much this kind of thing's just moving up. And again, you can see right now the Kreoss is kind of far back, but we're going to go and fix that later. So it's all fine. For me, I haven't played Gorten since the change, and I was looking forward to Energizer and Resourceful and all these great things I can do, but they're still only Focus 5, so I put Strength of Granite onto one of my drillers, and then apart from that, I put up a rock wall just to kind of really make sure I'll be safe, and then kind of ran up. Again, last game, I made a lot of enemies, and this game, I would have played a little bit of safe, especially because I need to get Gorten up there. Like, Gorten is so slow. He's speed 4, and even though my deployment zone was an extra 2 inches, I can't, like, charge and do the stuff I needed to because, like, that rock wall. So I just had to walk up. So as I'm looking at this here, me using my feet on somebody else might be a little bit difficult. Alright, turn 1 onto Retribution, he puts Fury up onto his Wardens, and then basically everything's just rushing up. He's enjoying that trench he put there, and now we're going to be moving on to turn 2. So turn 2 Cygnar, this is where if you don't have a model in the zone, you're going to take 5 damage on your caster. There's a 12-inch kill box, and if you kill box your caster, it'll also take another 5 points of damage, and this cannot be mitigated, transferred, and you are grievoused for a round. So yeah, don't do those things. So really what he does is tries to play things kind of cautiously. We've already talked about this. He realized what a bad situation he is, get something in the zone, of course, to not take damage, but also scoring a point. So Cygnar is kind of like the arch enemy now as well because they're winning the game. And to make things worse, like, David embraces this and sends his little storm callers either way just to shoot out lightning at things just to see what he can do. So he doesn't do any damage, but he does, like, annoy the 2 players on either side, and I can't imagine that's going to work out well for him. All right, turn 2, going on to the Menoth team here now. I mean, he's just going to shield wall, go into the zone. He goes over at the Vanquisher, takes a shot. That could have been devastating. However, it does just scatter off, so nothing really there. I believe as well the shot from the artillery also scatters, so not really a ton of bad stuff happening right now. So I think he got a little bit lucky with that for sure. Otherwise, this is where, you know, when we measured things after for Kreoss, we found out that he killed Box himself, pushed him up because that was just a simple deployment thing. So the last thing I'm going to be mentioning is just if you see that caster teleport, I wanted to make sure you understood why. Now, going on to my turn, I felt bad for David, so I wanted to try and deal with this artillery piece at least. So I send my basher in, and I go in and I slam that jack, and my intent was to slam it into the actual artillery piece there, and then try and destroy it. Now, I did slam it far enough to kill one of the members, and actually it was actually like the special solo attachment whatever thing that gives it +2 to hit, so that helps a lot. But the thing I forgot is that when you do that with the basher, it's supposed to be going an extra 2 inches, which would have actually hit the actual artillery itself, so it would have done more damage, but I messed that up, whatever. Otherwise, I repo back, I put up solid ground, because why not? With resourceful, it'll just keep on going. I put up another rock wall, because I had to drop it so I could charge through. A driller goes into the zone, and basically, yeah, I'm figuring the wall is going to keep me safe. If the incinerators want to charge me, and I doubt they will, I will wipe them off the board next turn. So I think they're going to be staying away from me. I think I'm a safe distance away from retribution. I'm feeling kind of okay. And again, the other thing I'm trying to do too is have my Ogrins sneak their way to either side so that maybe I can be stealing a flag in those ways that we talked about. But again, Gorten, he's kind of slow. Alright, going up onto Retribution, he's also playing a little bit safe here. You know, Thyron enjoying that trench. He puts his wardens into the zone so that he doesn't have to worry about any real damage. The Banshee shoots that Stormcaller that went after him. Oh, actually, yeah. That's what Menoth did. They wanted to kill the other Stormcaller. So I was wondering how he had 2 bad scatters, but now I remember that he had shot 1 at the Stormcaller. So, you know, not the worst. He's down 2 Stormcallers. It could be worse. And now we're into that fun spot of turn 3. So the turn 3 where now things could get really serious, and we'll see which way this is going to go. Alright, so turn 3 for Signar, and then right away, David's saying, you know what? I'm going to try and make an enemy of everyone. And I'm saying to him, like, you're not going to do that to me, right? I'm on the other side of the board. Oh, and he's like, no, I think I'm going to go up there and I'm going to slam you. I was like, okay, just so you know, before you do that, I cannot be pushed. Oh, okay, maybe I won't do that then. But yeah, David was dead set on like, you know, screw it, let's try and do this. So he sends his Stormguard into, or Silverline rather, into the Wardens on the left. Really, really crappy dice, you know, like amazingly bad, doesn't kill off anything. Meanwhile, he slams away the Vanquisher on the right, and then, yeah, just kind of like takes some shots into the Incinerators, but they're like armor 23 right now, so no real damage done there. So really, they kind of like stepped up, pissed everybody off, and I can only imagine how bad this is going to be for them. So yeah, going here now onto the Menoth turn, he kind of decides that he's going to be playing this one safe. He knows that last game he played it a little bit more aggressively and kind of got hurt for it. So he just is happy to stand back and just shoot things from safety, right? So like, sure, why not? I got these guns, let's just fire them. So he starts shooting this fire into the Signar lines, and like everything's on fire. So he kills a few things back there, but the main thing is that these Storm Guards, you know, these Storm Knights, they do not want to be on fire. This is really bad. David is probably going to be losing like 75% of his force, and really all he had to do was sit back there and lob it off. So the big thing here that I'm also watching for is as he is going around here with Kreoss, I'm trying to see if there's a way where I can get in the slam kill with my Basher. So for those who don't know, you already saw the Basher go and slam something, but it also has follow up. So if I can slam something over a caster, I follow up to the caster and then start punching that knockdown thing. So I think already I'm going to be looking for that on Kreoss. Now is not going to be the turn, so I'm just going to play this defensively. So on my turn, I basically do nothing. I just kind of like reposition, shift over a little bit here. I go and put my little lights, my little gun bunnies in front of me because I know I'm going to be hit by something and they're really not going to do much this game. So I just might as well just move them up and then just be like, they're the things that can be charged. Otherwise, Gorten's moving up and trying to be in a spot where next turn I can be having an effective feat, but yeah, normally you think like this is the turn that things are charging and going crazy, and it really hasn't happened yet. All right, and then maybe I said that too early because wow, Daryl does a lot of work this turn. So first of all, he has those wardens that do some work. He has 3 that charge into me. 2 of my gun bunnies are really messed up. Whatever, I don't care. They're, in fact, them being there kind of like protects me from the incinerators, I guess, in a way. So I'm cool with them being there. The other 2 incinerators easily go and kill off everything that was standing in front of them as far as the silver line. And this is because this is his feat. So, he's getting an extra dice to hit, and then he's getting an extra attack if he kills something. So after he clears off the silver line that are in his face, that executioner goes in and does so much work. People keep on complaining about how the executioner is so much worse now. No, it is amazing. It goes in there and look at everything that's dead there now. Like things were on fire before, but now they're just dead. And he was able to kill off future Haley. I mean, of course, I didn't say he summoned in the echoes, but it's assumed. And also wanged regular Haley Prime across the face and got some damage in there too. So, wow, I'm feeling so bad for David right now. That is such a blow. He can go and try and fight his way back, but like he even lost Thorn, right? Banshee shot it, did some big damage to it with the Executioner as well. This is just crazy. So he did tons of work. However, this is kind of it now, and I kind of feel that if I wanted to, I might even be able to kill Thyron if I wanted, because what I could do is charge in with my Gorten and then draw him in, which lowers his defense, and then once I do that, one of my heavies can probably just kill him. Then again, that could be a little bit risky, so after looking at that, I think I'm going to not do that, but we're going to see what's going to happen. We still got to see what the Signar does. All right, going into turn 4, so now kill box going up even further, right? It was 12 inches, 14 inches, now it's 16. And yeah, Signar is going to be fighting back. They're not going to put up with this. So he basically figures that, you know what, I'm probably not going to be doing anything with the Menoth. I need to be getting some revenge here on Retribution. They kill off the Executioner. They dominate the Banshee. It walks back. It kills off an Arcanist. Then he comes in and he kills off 2 of those Wardens over there with the Centurion. So he's not in the best spot. He's really, really damaged. However, he's making some good work of it, right? He's getting in there and he's getting some job done. And yeah, now I want to see what Menoth does, because if Menoth wanted, they could probably just like table off Signar now. So let's see what they do. So I was really looking forward to seeing the damage that he was going to do over here, but he didn't do it. So what again, he said that last game he was more offensive and he paid the price. This turn he's just going to play it as defensive as possible and look for his opportunities. So really the shield wall guys just kind of like go up a little bit. He shoots his shots into actually the Wardens. So a lot of them are all damaged and they're on fire. So sure, that's awesome. And then best yet, look where his jacks are. And look where Kreoss is. So the Devout goes in front of Kreoss, and then the Kreoss uses the Arc Node to be blasting spells at my Gorten. Now my Gorten's camping 4, I was fine. I just had to go and cancel all the damage. But now I'm in a perfect spot where Kreoss is there. I'm guaranteed to knock him over. I'm guaranteed to get onto him with no camp. And yeah, this is time for a caster kill. So as I said, I was going to watch to see if it was the right time to kill Thyron, and I don't think it is. I think the right thing to do is to kill Kreoss, make his stuff go inert, and then basically just will start working down everything around me, and I think I'll be in a very, very good spot and still have my feat to use later. So that's what I do. I drop the rock wall. Even though I upkeep the strength of granite for free, like sure, I go up there and I hit some things with my jack. I really just use it to go and knock down his arc node just to make sure I don't take a free strike. But then I go and switch over strength of granite onto the basher. It goes for the slam. I boost it to hit just to be sure. I slam it way over. I think I slammed it like 8 inches. So you can see I like crushed that artillery team, knocked down Kreoss2, and then yeah, there I am, like POW 19, auto hitting. Kreoss2 dies, so now I go up a point. So Signar has a point, I have a point. I killed off almost all the wardens. One of the wardens I just couldn't really finish off, so that's unfortunate. But look where I am now. I'm in a very, very strong position. I have the Bokur that's on the left threatening the flag over there, so if I want to be doing the feat next turn, I could be doing that. Depending what happens here on the right, I might be able to clear off that flag. I can also threaten another assassination. I'm feeling fantastic. And then in typical Daryl way, he's like, hey, how about I just go and take this game over? So the way he does that is that, first of all, he just goes and shoots down Haley. So he doesn't need to do anything really fancy. You know, Haley's already kind of damaged, had to use up all the focus to get things done. So the Banshee basically just shoots Haley in the face and then boom, kills her. So Retribution already at 1 point. Then Thyron comes after me. Now, I didn't think I was in Thyron's charge range, and I wasn't. However, I was in his sidestep threat. So I was camping a couple, so, you know, I wasn't super weak. And, you know, I have pretty high armor. I'm defense 13, armor 19, so looking pretty campy. But he was trying to be in a spot where if he kills me, well, then, of course, my entire battle group just goes inert. Now, he comes in, he rolls all the dice, and I'm left on 1 box, and I am just over the moon, and like, this is great, because now what I can do is, like, for free, kill Thyron, and then I'll be having Gorten super safe as well. So I'm, like, overjoyed. I am like, yeah, this is fantastic. And then he's like, hey, I still have 1 warden left. Maybe it can get in. And it was really, you know, like, it couldn't charge to get there. It couldn't really do anything for the Pathfinder because it wasn't a charge. And so we had to remeasure this a couple of times just to be sure. But yeah, wouldn't you know it, in comes this warden, gets within range, and does exactly 1 damage. I fail my tough. Daryl scores another point, and even though I'm contesting my flag, yeah, all my stuff goes inert, and this is awful. So yeah, Daryl really in a very dominant spot right now, and I don't think we can stop him from winning. Alright, so going over to Signar, you know, we're on to turn 5 right now, and he's like, well, if I don't have anything except for these dudes, let's just charge in. So they charge in over there into the incinerators, they kill off a couple of guys, and that's really it. Going back then to the Menoth side, again, a lot of his stuff can't do very much, but he does have those incinerators, so the incinerators go over, they attack Signar, and Signar is basically just wiped off the map now. Sure, there is a Centurion, but it's inert, that's really it. So David's really completely out of the game now. Going to my turn, I do my best, but this was hilarious. So really what happens here is I go in and my Bokur can actually slam. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I can slam Thyron, and then, you know, I can go after with the other Ogren and be annoying, and it's might take like kill box or something. But I miss my slam, and then Thyron is able to hit you back if you miss. So he basically kills my Bokur, but I tough. So I'm lying on the ground. Then Gudrun the Wasted says like, well, I guess I'll give it a try. Charges in, misses as well. Same thing happens. Kills Gudrun, passes my tough. I'm knocked down, but yeah, now he's guaranteed, right? The only models I have contesting are knocked down, so they can't even tough now. And yeah, that's really it. So that's what Daryl does, just has to do some flashing blades, kills those 2 models, scores my flag, goes up to 3, takes the win. So Retribution and Thyron win the day. So overall, it was a great game. We all had a lot of fun. You know, David did have to say that, like, fun is maybe not the right way to say this here, because yeah, he kind of got destroyed, but he does realize that he was kind of in a bad situation, and he did try and like antagonize everyone, so he did kind of bring it on himself. Overall, though, there was something else that we decided after playing this game. One, we're going to be moving the flags in. The flags seem just a little bit too far, so we're going to be moving those in. The other thing we're going to be doing, too, is saying that doesn't matter if you're a Warcaster, a Warlock, an Infernal Master, if you're over there in Cephalix, if your caster dies, your battle group is going to go autonomous, because otherwise there is so much value now in going for the assassination that I don't really feel that's the way we want the game to go. Again, we want this for new players to be something where, hey, let's do this. You can have some fun. Even if you have like a bad hit, you can kind of like do something in the game. But if you take a big battle group, kind of like I did, and you lose your caster, you lose everything. So at least if they go autonomous and they, you know, get no focus, but they can walk and make their regular initial attacks, that's at least something. So I think that's what we're going to be doing here. I think it's going to help it out. Well, again, we're going to try this out. But yeah, we all had a whole bunch of fun. This was great. Hopefully you had fun watching this. And if you had any comments on the list, the game, the format, anything, please post it down below. And otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.